morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Welcome to the Bronx Queens Bros podcast, better known as the BQB podcast. I'm Big B. We got Big D. We also got Jack B. Dave, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, fellas. I'm excited to go throughout this episode as Jack is watching the Yankees spring training game live. So hopefully nothing crazy happens. We don't see any crazy reactions from Jack. We just want a good game. But Jack, how you doing?
Doing good. We got some Yankees baseball today, guys. I'm super excited about that. And the Mets. I believe the Mets play today, too.
Yes.
So, yeah, pumped up about that. We got some important topics to talk about. I know that. And can't wait to get into it. But first, a message from our sponsor. V, why don't you take it away?
Certainly. This episode is sponsored by one of the best secrets kept in northern New Jersey. Engineering and Design Concepts, a small company doing big things, specializing in product development, manufacturing, and test equipment. If you or anyone you know need assistance in that field, they are the company you need to contact. The link to their website will be in the description. The days are being brighter. It's sunny outside. It's Sunday at 1:23, and it's beautiful outside. There's going to be so many more days like this to come. Softball season's around the corner. This opening day, I snagged my tickets for opening day. I'm front row, second deck, and left field. I'm ready for a Pete missile hitting my hand. Gonna break it, but it's all good. But you know who won't be there for opening day, Jack? It's Kodai Senga.
Yeah.
And it's a devastating injury early on. Something along the lines of it's a long-ass name of the right posterior moderate strain in his right shoulder. And not a good sign. So far, the update today is he shut down for 3 weeks, and then he could resume throwing, and then he'll need 6 weeks roughly to ramp up, which if that's the case, that's not horrible. That takes him right into May. So let's pray for no setbacks. Yes, Senga for almost a full year. I'll be happy, but a right shoulder injury does kind of scare me.
Yeah, definitely not good news, V. I saw on Twitter, I don't know how true this is, that it's a similar injury to what Johan Santana had when he was on the Mets.
So,
is that true?
Similar in the sense that it was a shoulder, not similar as Santana had an inner posterior.
Okay.
Senga has in the back. So the inner is significantly worse. That's why it kind of ruined Santana's career.
Right.
The back part of it, it's not all shoulder. So it could be something that lingers for him for sure. But I think it's a better news. And let's hope that in 3 weeks, Senga starts throwing and there's no naggingness there for him. And we could be looking all right.
Well, I mean, that probably if you had to, pick someone not to get injured, like someone that you really needed to rely on if you're a Mets fan, it would be Kodai Senga just because of, how great he was last year in his rookie season, first year in the MLB. And, now that he was the number one pitcher on the Mets pitching staff, there was a lot, on his plate this year, and the Mets were relying on him heavily. I think a lot of Mets fans were hoping they could sneak into that second wild card, probably not competing for the division this year. But, eyes on that wild card, and, it's not a great start, but when you think about it, it's only, a couple starts, right? I mean.
Exactly.
For right now.
He's probably missing 5 starts.
Right.
So, and, this is why the Mets kept saying they got depth. Tyler McGill, Big Trip McGill, my guess is probably gets the spot. And I feel like he's a solid pitcher. He's working on the American sport ball. He's got a new splitter that he learned from Senga, which is exciting to see. One of them was absolutely disgusting, kind of spiked the other couple. So that's something that's enticing to see as he progresses through spring training. I think that spot is his. It'd be very interesting to see if he gets the opening day nod again as he did in 2022. My guess is I'd find it hysterical if they give it to Severino, but I could see Quintana also getting it. Or maybe even Salmonaya. I mean, it's really, I guess whoever lines up.
I got a question for you, V. Do you think that the Mets are in play for any, the remaining, probably just the 2 main guys? You think Snell or you think Montgomery would be in the Mets forecast. I know the Yankees have been linked to Snell these last couple of weeks. Doesn't really seem like a deal is imminent, but you never know. So,
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if that injury makes them more likely to go get a pitcher. I'd like to imagine it does. But with what we saw this morning or late last night with Bellinger signing with the Cubs on a 3-year deal for $80 million with opt-outs after the first and second year, I could see something similar happening like that with Snell and Montgomery. And I think on a short, high AAV contract, the Mets should be all over it. Because let's say you give Montgomery the same thing you just gave Bellinger. I think Montgomery is worth that not worth that AAV, but on a short-term deal, I think it's fantastic. Say you sign him to another $380, and then you give him an opt-out the first 2 years, 1 and 2. And let's say he goes out next year, pitches 200 innings, wins you 15 games. You think it's the wild card. Let's say he pitches one of the wild card games dominant. Mets get knocked out in the division series, but he pitched great. He hits the market again, and maybe now they're like, okay, he could get that 5-year deal for $100 million or whatever he was looking for. Oh, and even matter of fact with Snell, maybe Snell gets 3 for 95, 3 for 100. Some type of Max Scherzer type number, like it's $36 million a year, and he gets an opt-out. Let's say next year he pitches another 180 innings, has a sub-2.5 ERA, strikes out the world. Now he's like, okay, Snell's got back-to-back dominant years, and whether or not he wins Cy Young, that's neither here nor there. It's great. Let him hit the open market again. Maybe he gets a 6-year, $180 million deal. I don't know. That's kind of where I look at it.
Yeah, I think if I had to place my bets, I'm sure you would feel the same way. I'd guess that they wouldn't be. The Mets just would not be in on these guys just based on what I've seen from them, this offseason.
Yeah, I see them getting like a Mike Clevenger. I could see a Noah Syndergaard reunion. Whether I don't like that, but it's something I could see. Maybe Stearns thinks he could fix Syndergaard with his pitching lab or whatever the deal is. I did see a report that JD Martinez is willing to accept a 1-year deal if it's over $20 million. I don't know if that's the number the Mets are willing to go to. That's very enticing if I'm for a 1-year deal. Maybe it falls down to like maybe $18 million by mid-March. I'd get him. That'd be a huge bat to get.
Yeah, I mean we've talked about that the Mets' glaring hole, especially in their lineup, which I think is almost underrated now, is that DH, right? If they 100%. Get a DH, it kind of changes the whole outlook of the batting order, and I think it could help them a lot and less reliant on the young guys. And I know that's kind of where the Mets are headed, giving these young guys more of an opportunity. But at the same time, the fans want to make a playoff push, and they saw what, Vientos and Beatty, they were shaky last year. I mean, just got to call it what it is. They weren't great.
I think me personally, I think there's a world where you get JD Martinez. He's not playing 162 games anyways. Carry Mark Vientos and let him and Beatty platoon third base. Vientos hits lefties. Beatty can't hit lefties anyways. So let them try to be the best players against the best opposing pitcher. Get your matchups. Martinez is going to play 135 games. There's still 40-plus games for a DH needed. Mark Vientos will still get his run. Beatty still gets his run. Marte, everyone can still get their run. And that's why I would do it. Obviously, I think they want Vientos to get the 140-plus games in there. But if you want to compete, you lost Senga, maybe you can't do Martinez and one of those big-name pitchers, but I feel like you got to attack one of the big issues here and either go get a bona fide number 1 or number 2 in Snell or Montgomery, or go solidify your lineup because, like you said, Jack, the lineup's low-key pretty scary because it's got a nice assortment of like average and power, but if you throw one more power bat in that lineup, that's like a bona fide power bat, this lineup starts getting very deep very quickly.
Right. Yeah.
That's the way I would look at it. Dave, you got any input here?
I don't have much input on the Mets, but if we could, I have some notes from Yankees training camp I would like to switch to and get Jack's input on. Jack, I'm sure you've seen the pictures, you've seen the action. Giancarlo Stanton looks a bit different this year, huh?
Yeah,
Yankees are
he looks very different.
Yankees could really benefit, obviously. I mean, we're paying him so much money. He hasn't really been producing, hasn't been staying healthy. What are your thoughts on his new look, his new approach to batting, and his upcoming season?
Yeah, I mean, he looks much leaner, lost a lot of muscle, looks more, just lean, more athletic, more mobile, just from the looks of him. But, injuries have plagued Giancarlo's, Yankee tenure, and it's, we can't really sugarcoat it. It's been bad, especially the last couple of years. But yeah, you know what? I give him a lot of credit because he's got a lot of shit from the fans and the media. But, he's reinvented himself in a way that we've never seen. I mean, power and strength, that's his game. That's who he is as a player. And he's basically foregoing, maybe some of that bat speed or some of that power to be a more, compact hitter, a more mobile, usable outfielder, which you got to give him credit. He's trying something new. I mean, you have to respect that a guy's willing to do that in this stage of his career. And, I think you can't really ask for much more else as a fan. It's what you would want, as a fan of a team where, he's not exactly, doesn't have a clear spot, right? Obviously the DH spot, but we'd love to have Judge fill that spot every once in a while. And I don't know. It's tough for Stanton, but you got to give him credit for what he's been able to do in the offseason. I saw his swing looks a little bit different, which I'm interested to see how that looks. But yeah, I mean, he's got to be able to hit the fastballs, and that was something that he really struggled to do last year. He's getting fastballs blown right by him, and he was almost in between, late on the fastball, way out in front of the off-speed stuff. So he's a timing hitter. If he can get his timing down, I really won't be too worried about it. But yeah, it's definitely something that I'll be interested to see this spring training is the production of Giancarlo Stanton, how he looks. Saw him making a couple sliding plays in the outfield. So I don't know. Who knows? I don't want to get my hopes too high. And I think it's also good that we're not going to be relying on him as we were in previous years to hit 30 home runs, drive in 100 guys. We don't have that reliance on him this year now that we have Soto, Verdugo, brought in some other guys. So less pressure, but at the same time, lots of pressure for the team to perform and get number 28.
Jack, I saw that one. Well, I saw one sliding catch in particular. Somebody tweeted it saying like Giancarlo looking super athletic in the outfield, and I'm just like, I wouldn't call it super athletic,
right?
But it was nice to see, that
for him.
Last
super
year he was getting thrown out jogging to home. So
yeah, you can't have that. It's like I feel like there's a point of diminishing returns when it comes to being so jacked and so, just being able to hit the ball 120 miles per hour. There becomes a point where it's just hampering your other skill sets in the game of baseball. Baseball is not just a home run or bust game. You got to be able to be athletic. You got to be able to move on the bases. Like Dave said, you can't be jogging or walking home. It's just such a liability. And if you could just have Giancarlo be decent to okay instead of a negative, like a black hole for our team, I think it would make a huge difference.
All I gotta say though is that Daniel Vogelbach signed with the Blue Jays, so I don't know if the Yankees are gonna get their 28th because I think the Blue Jays are much scarier right now.
V, he just grounded out. I was a little bit afraid seeing him against Carlos Rodon, but he did swing the bat and he grounded out, so that was a little bit surprising. I was a bit nervous, but
speaking of just general, MLB stuff, can we talk about the baseball fans real quick, guys?
Yeah.
This isn't a rated R podcast. I don't know if we could really talk about it too much.
Well, we're not going to show pictures, that's for sure.
We might get banned. We're seeing a little too many balls in the air, and I'm not talking about baseballs if you know what I'm saying. So it's a little crazy. They got to change it. A lot of players are actually scared that they're going to be showing off their balls. So it's a little concerning. And the lettering on the back is horrible. The front of the jersey's fine, in my opinion. Like, as far as I can see, the front of the jerseys are fine. But the back, the lettering for your name looks atrocious. And the pants are way too see-through.
I've never been more happy that the Yankees don't have last names on the back of their jerseys. Because at first I was like, what is everyone like all up in arms about? And then I saw, I think it was P. Crow Armstrong, the former Mets prospect that's now on the Cubs, and his name looks like a rainbow.
His hair looks like a rainbow too, if you guys saw that.
I just couldn't believe it. It's a bad look. I feel like also baseball just continues to make headlines for all the wrong reasons. You know, I feel like that just... We can't get out of our own way in professional sports. We only make headlines when it's for, like, unwritten rules or, like, you know, one of our best promising young players having relations with underage girls or, you know, the baseball pants being see-through. Like, it's just...
former Cy Young getting multiple rape and sexual assault allegations.
Yeah, it's just... it's always for the wrong reasons. We can never get out of our own way. And I feel like that's kind of been the theme of Major League Baseball the last couple of years. It's just, you know, cheating or juice balls. It's never like the product on the field.
No.
I'm saying with the national stories, obviously we're bigger baseball fans and we care about the intricacies and who's doing well and who's not. But for the general sports fan, they just like, oh, what a disaster. They can't even get the pants right. You would think that they would be like product tested and, you know, there would be like multiple, you know, like tests or like, I don't know, something, but
all you gotta do is hold them up and look at the light.
Dude.
To be like, maybe we should rethink this.
I don't know. It's a bad look. Hopefully they change it. I think they're gonna change it. But
and did you see Nike had Mike Trout like release a statement? Like he had to tweet out like change is good. Like these jerseys are nice because apparently Nike was trying to make these jerseys like lighter because the players were complaining the jerseys were too heavy. Hey Mike, how about you take that change is good philosophy to your playing career and maybe you can be on
get the hell out of the
half decent team. Like Jesus, man.
He said he's not opposed to down the road. Go now while you're still fucking good.
I know. Yeah. I mean, I think the problem is a trade would be rough just based on he hasn't been playing. So it's just...
I honestly think the Angels would be okay with getting nothing in return and just getting the money off their books.
I really meant for the team getting it. It's like, how do you justify getting that much? You know, you see there's even top guys that aren't even being signed. These owners are basically refusing to make big moves.
Yeah.
And you're going to ask to give up, you know, even if it's minuscule pieces to get an aging outfielder who's had back problems and is getting paid, is going to be probably one of the highest paid players on your team. It's a big ask. So
it is a big ask, but I think Mike Trout, to an extent, like going to like a Philly or going to New York or going somewhere else.
Oh yeah.
The team is gonna be able to market him in a way that he's never been marketable in Anaheim. So I feel like let's say the Yankees get him. I think, and they have a lot of high paying players as well. It could still make sense though, in my opinion. You got Verdugo probably walking. Say you sign Soto, you have Judge, and you get Trout. I think there's still, I know there's a lot of star power there, but I think that is a disgusting outfield, number one. But that is very manageable in order to, like, you can market Trout. Trout could get you endorsement deals. I think Trout could still make the team a lot of money. But it is going to hinder the payroll, definitely, for sure.
I think he would be a really good fit for the Mets. I just do. I've thought that for a lot of years. I just thought he'd be a great Met. I just doubt the Yankees just because of their prospects are a lot of outfielders like Spencer Jones and Dominguez. They have Soto, Judge. So I don't really know about the fit with the Yankees. Obviously, You're going to need to be DHing him as well because he's getting older and we still have Stanton on the books for a while. So I don't exactly see the fit with the Yankees. I agree. Philly, he's from there. That would be really cool. But I think the Mets, I think that'd be really cool.
It would be pretty. I think that would be insane because, in my opinion, I would move Trout to right field. Tell him, hey, you're done with center. We want you to play as much as possible. Or move him to left or whatever you want to do. I think they're kind of very true to having Nimmo in left field permanently now. So get Marte off his feet. Put Trout in right. Maybe let's say next year. So Marte's pretty much off the books. Have Trout in right field. I think Drew Gilbert's going to be a real stud in center. You also have Jet Williams and Acuna. Those guys can play all over. Trout and the Mets would be pretty insane. But I think that would probably mean a Pete Alonso is gone. Yeah, no, that's definitely would be cool. Dave, you got some...
Started with Pants, ended with Mike Trout to the Mets. And it was me, not you, V. It was not you. It was really me.
Yeah, I know. This was all your fault.
We said Mike Trout to the Mets, and we're thank God V's pants aren't see-through at this point. You want to do some predictions?
I love it.
Yeah.
Because there's no other way to segue from that. So, yeah, we're ramping up for this exciting upcoming season. I got a couple different players, couple different stat categories. I want to hear your predictions, and I'll also throw some out for fun, too. All right?
All right.
We did some home runs last episode. Let's do some more real quick. We'll knock those out of the park. That was a pun right there. Thank you. All right, makes it worse. All right, V. Let's start with Francisco Lindor. Last year, he hit 31 home runs. How many home runs will Francisco Lindor hit this year for the Mets?
I'm going to bump him up just a tad. Just a smidge. I'm going to go to 33.
I'm going to go with 26. I think he hits more meaningful home runs this year, hopefully, for the Mets, and not just hitting a bunch of home runs when the season is already squandered away.
Hey, V, I'm right there with you. I had 33 home runs as well. I think a slight tick up from last year. I could see it happening. Let's move over to a guy we've talked a little bit about. The new Giancarlo Stanton. Jackie had 24 home runs in 101 games last year. How many will he hit this year?
I don't know. I'm going to go with 25. One more than last year. But I'm thinking that overall Stanton has a much better year. Maybe hits closer to 260. Maybe a little bit more contact. More doubles. Just less, I don't even know, not less home runs. I'm going one more, but less maybe home runs per at bat. I'm hoping he doesn't get hurt and can play in more games. That's what I'm hoping for.
I'm going to go with 28, Jack. I see him being healthier this year, and I can see him popping 28 over. He's still strong. He's still very strong.
Yeah, we're hoping this new change in Giancarlo gives him more at-bats, but you are losing some of that muscle strength. It doesn't mean he's not going to be a power hitter anymore. So I'm going to go with 27. I do think he's going to tick up a little bit. But I also agree with your analysis, Jack. I think around the board, he's going to become a more dynamic player, not so much a home run or bust kind of guy. All right, we talked about power. Let's transition over to some speed. Two of the fastest guys in New York. V, let's start with Starling Marte. He had 24 stolen bases in 86 games for the Mets last year. How many stolen bases do you think you'll have this year?
That's a lot of stolen bases for a guy who was injured the whole time. And with the new rules, Marte's a proven stolen base threat. Marte says he is now 100% recovered from his double groin injury, or surgery, I should say. He played winter ball. He said he's ready to play 170 games this year. So I'm gonna like all these signs. Marte's a huge X factor. Marte goes back to 2022. He's gonna have a great year, and I'm gonna go with 38 stolen bases for Starling Marte.
As Carlos Rodon gives up a home run, I'm gonna go with and double groin injury just sounds insane. Let me just put that out there, and I'm gonna go with 26 stolen bases for Marte. just looking at some of his baseball savant numbers, I know sprint speed, he's been down last couple of years. Yeah, he's recovered from his injury, but how does that look as far as, is he going to lose a step? He's probably not going to be in as much discomfort, but does he maybe lose a step just physically? He's getting older there in age. So, but one of the best base runners in baseball, I have to give it up to him. Very good at reading pitchers, stealing bases. So, going to go with 26.
Yeah, this is kind of my exact reasoning with the whole stolen base, non-pickoff rule, and bigger bases. I think he could just low-key just sneak well over 30.
Yeah, V, I could definitely see 38 happening. But Jack is right. I mean, double groin injury, I don't think that's something that you just, doesn't affect you at all, even though he's feeling much better. I'm still going to suggest that he improves by quite a bit. He hits over 30. I'm going to go with 33 because we really haven't seen him take advantage of those rule changes last year because he wasn't fully healthy. And 24 and 86 games is not too shabby. So my guess is 33. Let's go over to the Yanks. Anthony Volpe, good stolen base threat. Jack, he had 24 stolen bases in 159 games.
Yeah.
How many will he have this year?
I'm going to go with 35. I'm thinking a lot more. And I know he played almost every game last year, but the guy was almost never on first base. It's almost crazy that our best on-base threat didn't get on base last year at an on-base percentage lower than 300. Kind of crazy to think about. But yeah, I'm thinking that he works more counts, makes more contact. He's able to use that speed a bit more and makes a significant jump from last year and steal some more bases. I'd love that. 35.
I'm going to go with 31. I think he hits over 30, but I'm going to be a little conservative just because I don't know. I hope he has a better year offensively in terms of OBP and average, but I got to see it. I got to see one like high stolen base year for me to really start getting it.
All right, yeah, I think I'm going to suggest a 30-30 season for Anthony Volpe.
Ooh.
I think it can happen. I think the kid's got so much upside. Obviously, a lot has to take place, but you just have a much better lineup. You hope a lot of the guys around him step up a little bit, and you also hope he gets the opportunities more. Jack, you're absolutely right. He stole 24 bases. I don't know how many attempts, but it seemed like he was never on first. So he gets that average up, gets that OBP up. I think he can easily get over 30. So my final answer is Volpe's going to have 32 stolen bases.
Love that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about batting average a little bit. Jeff McNeil is known to usually have a high average. He had a little bit of a dip, I guess you would say, last year, batting 270, which is still a lot of people would take. But what do we think Jeff McNeil's average is going to be this upcoming season?
So I'm going to tell you guys something kind of weird, which is beneficial to me in the stance, was McNeil came up in, what was it, 2018. So 2019, he was great. I'm going to skip 2020. 2021, he wasn't great. 2022, he was great. 2023 wasn't great. So I'm going back to him having another great year, and I'm going to put it at a 302 batting average.
I'm going to go with definitely a tick up. I think he does have a better year. I'm a bit concerned about that. What does he have? A partially torn, is that a UCL and his non-throwing shoulder or non-throwing elbow? So I'm a little bit concerned about that, especially being a lefty. That's, kind of like the power hand going behind. So a little bit concerned about that. But I think V makes a great point. His career kind of goes up and down. And I think McNeil, gets a little bit more lucky this year and can find some base hits.
I also think him staying at second base permanently with they said he's not moving from second really unless emergencies come up. Him staying at one position, I think, is only beneficial to his overall game.
I definitely agree with both of you guys in the sense that he will improve. It's hard to put money on a 300 hitter. I guess Jeff McNeil is not a bad person to place that bet on, but I'm going to go with 286. I think he'll bump up quite a bit, but I don't know if he'll hit that 300 mark. V.
Fair enough. I know. I just said his career average is like 296, so it's like he can definitely get there.
He can do it. Jack, average guy the Yankees really need to see improve this year. A potential leadoff hitter is DJ LeMahieu. He batted .243 last year, which we just cannot have continuing. So I hope we all suggest he improves, and I hope he improves. But Jack, what are we thinking on DJ LeMahieu's average this upcoming year?
Dave, I got to be honest with you. I don't want LeMahieu leading off for us. I know a lot of Yankee fans have been trying that out there. He needs to be our leadoff hitter. That's not what I want. I want Verdugo to hit leadoff against righties. I want Gleyber to hit leadoff against lefties. That's what I want. I think DJ's best years are probably behind him. I do think he's bound to have a better year just because how bad he was last year. I'm going to go with 261, but I think for the most part, DJ's an older player. It's kind of tough to ask him to be much more than a 280 hitter at this point. But, you know, sometimes you just have those years where the hits fall and, you know, defenses are weird and things like that happen. So anything can really happen, but I'm really not banking on a crazy DJ LeMahieu year. I got to be honest.
Yeah, I'm not either. Felt like he was very late on the ball consistently. We'll see if that changes this year. I agree with you completely, Jack. Verdugo, in my opinion, has to be the leadoff hitter. I mean, what is that going to be? 75% of the time with how many righties are on the league. I think he makes the most sense there. I know what the Yankees are trying to do, the righty-lefty thing, but in my opinion, it's got to be Verdugo. With lefties on the mound, I don't even care. Put Volpe there for all I care. Maybe he'll hit great against lefties this year. LeMahieu should not be the leadoff hitter. LeMahieu should be the 8 hitter or the 9 hitter. Somewhere where there's no pressure on him, where he could produce, maybe have a great year. I'm going to go up to 268, though. I see him having a slight bounce back.
Again, his average ticking up to, I guess, 260s would be a great change for a Yankees fan. Where he goes in the lineup, I guess we'll see. Didn't Aaron Judge say he wanted him lead off?
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. Whatever, man.
I feel like Aaron Boone loves him. I could see him starting the year off at leadoff, and I could see that quickly changing.
Yeah, it's just, I think everyone, including Yankee fans and Yankee players, they have that image of DJ when we were in the ALCS against the Astros a couple years ago, and DJ was such a force for us. But it's the guy's he's got to be like 36, right? I mean,
he's definitely older. Yeah.
At a certain point, it's just like, you know, he's just not the same guy. So
he's also not fast. Doesn't run the bases insanely great. So I definitely would rather have someone with more speed up.
Yeah. And a problem, too, is he hits the ball on the ground a lot. So not having him lead off, especially having him, you know, below some of those guys that are going to get on base, could be trouble because he hits into a lot of double plays. Especially last year. Seemed like he was always grinding into double plays in big spots. But he does carry that reputation of being someone that could drive guys in. He was great with runners in scoring position in his first couple of years with us, so hoping that can continue this year.
Yeah.
I do agree with the overall analysis. I think I got you guys right in the middle. Let's talk closers. I think both of us, our teams, have interest in closing situations. Obviously, we're going to see how Diaz bounce backs, and I feel like Holmes just never gives us Yankee fans who've been blessed with that security of Mariano Rivera. He's never given us that full confidence, but he's our closer. So let's start with the return of Edwin Diaz. Last year that he pitched, he had 32 saves in 22. Obviously, no saves last year. V, how will he bounce back? How many saves will he get in this upcoming season?
So I could see him struggling a little bit in the beginning. Coming off the injury, could see his, like I said, I don't think he'll have as good as a year. I mean, he had an amazing year that year. Pretty much the second half, he was untouchable, like completely untouchable. So I'm going to just stay right there at 32. I don't know how great the Mets are going to be this year. Saves are a funny number because it's all about an opportunity, and if you could get it when you're not pitching 4 days in a row or something like that. So I'm going to go with 32 again. I feel like it's a safe number. I see him still being one of the best closers in baseball, 100%. but I could see some early on struggles for Mr. Diaz.
Yeah, V, I'm a tick below you. I was at 31 for Diaz. Yeah, I worry about the early struggles, and I worry about maybe some struggles with location at the gate. But I think what you said is right on the money. As soon as he gets into his rhythm and he's able to find that location, find that slider, I got all the confidence in the world. He's going to bounce back and be one of the best closers in the game.
I 100% agree with you guys as well. I think I'm one tick further down below you, Jack. I'm at 30. No expert analysis here. It's just kind of the number I'm rolling with. I do think he'll be a bit shaky. Will the opportunities be there? Will he seize the opportunity? So obviously I hope he comes back to what we know he can be, because that would be very exciting for you, V, and for Mets fans, even though Jack and I would have to hear the trumpets a bit more. But we can get through that. All right, let's go to the Yankees. Jack, Clay Holmes, he had 24 saves last year.
Yeah.
How many saves do you think he'll have this upcoming season?
Oof. It's always tricky with Clay Holmes. He's a bit of a wild card. When he's on, he's one of the best relievers in baseball, but when he's off, not so good. Walking a lot of guys, wild and erratic on the mound. I'm going to go with 22. I think the Yankees are going to, give him his opportunities, but I think we're going to have a better year, be in less close games, and we're going to really rely on him come playoff time. So I think, we're going to try to stretch him out, not overwork him. And, a slight dip for Holmes, but I think he's still going to have a great year.
22?
22.
I'm going to go with 26. That's kind of where I'm at. I see him getting, obviously, the bulk of all the save opportunities, but he hasn't put one whole season together yet where he's done 35-plus saves. So I'm not going to jump there right away, but I see an uptick. I see him improving, and I think all Yankee fans will be happy with that for sure.
Yeah, I'm also going to project an improvement for Clay Holmes. V, I'm right above you, actually. I'm going to go with 27. He's been a bit streaky throughout his career, I think, but I do think he's poised for a solid year. I think King took a couple save opportunities from him last year throughout the season. I don't think much, but I think the Yankees will put him in a lot more opportunities to close out the game because I think they'll have a better team this year and hopefully win more games. And I'm hopeful he can close them out. So I'm going to go with 27.
Great. Francisco
All right,
Alvarez just hit a 2-run home run. I'm sorry, I had to interrupt. I just got the notification.
Nice.
Please do. It's exciting for the kid.
That's what I need. It's my boy right there. Sorry.
Hey, well, that's all the predictions I got for this episode. So stay tuned for more predictions to come.
Yeah, we definitely. I like this. I think we should do this up until the season starts. Try to hit a lot of the players that we know are going to get a bulk playing time for Mets and Yankees. And I've been, the last episode, I posted them all on social media. Got some great traction. Everyone, if anyone's watching this, go on our socials at BQB Podcast, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter. I've been posting them, our 1-minute clip it on each thing. Just give us a follow, comment, like it. We sound like idiots or we sound smart. Let us know. It doesn't really matter. You won't hurt our feelings, I promise, but let us know. You could try to hurt our feelings. Guys, I don't know about you, but for me, it sounds like it's time for an Immaculate Grid.
Do it.
What do you guys say?
Sunday morning Immaculate Grid? Or Sunday afternoon at this point?
Bear with me as I have some technical difficulties while I get this up and running.
Did you say that before you even tried?
Yes, because it's happening right now. Oh, I got it. I got it, guys. We're good. All right, here we go. We all know the rules. It is February 25th, Immaculate Grid. So whenever you're watching this, don't say you're 3 days late. It's the day of. I don't know when we're posting this. So I'm going to jump to Jack to start this off. Jack, clearly, it's all team oriented, so it's kind of more fun. Not like the milestone ones that we've been getting recently. So fire away.
Ooh, all right. Let's see what we got here.
Oh, I have a good one.
Go ahead.
I got a really good one.
Go ahead.
Royals and Giants. I could go Nori Aoki or Carlos Beltran.
Okay. Also,
which one do you think is lower?
Probably Aoki. Nori Aoki.
Yeah. Former Met as well. You want to go with Nori?
Yep.
Nori Aoki. 3%. I wonder
Nice.
if Beltran was less.
We could also do Beltran and Giants and Astros as well.
Ooh, that's right. You want to do it there?
Yeah, let's do that.
$6%.
Nice.
That's fun. Dave, you seen anything you like here?
Give me, I don't know how rare of a guess this is, but give me Ben Zobrist on the Royals and Cubs.
Wow, nice.
Okay. 13. It's not bad. It's not
I'll
bad.
take it. My lucky number.
Oh, Houston and Cubs. Carlos Lee played for the Cubs and the Astros?
No.
Right? No?
Well, Derek Lee played on the Cubs. Carlos Lee played on the Astros. Maybe Carlos Lee played on the Cubs? I know he played on the White Sox.
Oh, shoot. Maybe I'm mixing them up then. I don't want to guess it. Now I'm scared. Michael Brantley for Cleveland and Houston? Is that too obvious?
Might be too obvious.
Okay.
I was thinking maybe Ryan Dempster for Boston and Chicago.
Okay. Ryan Dempster. 2%. That's a good one, Jack. It's a good one. Boston and Cleveland. That's
Obviously
tough.
Manny.
That's gonna be like a high one.
Yep. Bartolo Colon.
Oh, I do like the Cologne pick there. Anytime I can get Bartolo Colon on the board, I want to do it. I'm gonna do it. 3%. Big Sexy coming in clutch again. There's an odd team to really kind of mix in here. Boston and San Francisco. I'm in that corner right now, and
Sandoval.
I haven't figured in Sandoval. That's right.
But that's probably a high percentage.
It is going to be a high percentage, probably. I'm trying to think of any other players. I got no one off the top of my head.
What about Moises Alou? Didn't he play in the Astros? I know he was a big Cub.
Was a big Cub. He came to the Mets at the end of his career.
He
played for Houston?
I think he might have been on Houston.
We want to shoot the fire?
I don't love taking a chance on anything I suggest if you guys aren't confident, so.
I'm not confident in it, but it could have happened.
We can leave it then.
We'll leave it for now.
Kansas City, Cleveland. We could go Carlos Santana, but I know that's going to be a high percentage.
That will be a high percentage for sure. What
about Johnny Gomes? That'll be a good one. Kansas City, Cleveland, Johnny Gomes. Or wait, was Johnny Gomes on Cleveland?
No, I don't remember. I know Johnny Gomes was on the Red Sox. He was on the Braves.
He's on the Reds. I know he was on Kansas City.
I don't know if he was in Cleveland. Mike Napoli? Was he on the...
He's never on the Royals. He was on Boston.
Never on the Royals?
He was on Cleveland.
Zach Greinke?
How about Houston, Cleveland? We go Houston, Cleveland. The center fielder, Miles Straw.
He played for Houston? I don't
I'm
know.
almost positive he did.
Okay, 9%. It's good.
Trying to think of the Royals championship team.
That's exactly what the 14 and the 15 teams is where I was thinking. Like Moustakas never played any. He played for the Reds, the Brewers. Hosmer never went to Cleveland.
No.
Lorenzo Cain never went to Cleveland. Did one of their relievers, like, did Greg Holland pitch in
I
Cleveland?
don't think so. Brian Madsen.
Was Wade Davis? Wade Davis pitched in Cleveland?
I don't know.
Their starters, Johnny Cueto never pitched in Cleveland, I don't think.
What about for San Fran and Boston? Oh my God, this guy just hit a bomb. But it was foul. San Fran and Boston. What about Jake Peavy? Didn't he pitch on Boston one season?
He did. Let's do it. Jake, 5%. It's a good one. Oh boy. Let me see. Rayu, some Cubs. Did Aramis Ramirez ever played for Houston?
No. I don't
If you
think.
give me Moises, I'll take the L if we're wrong.
I think he did. I really think he did.
20%.
Oh,
okay,
wow.
that was a big one.
Oh.
I thought that would be a lot more rare.
Yeah.
So should we just do a little Santana action here just
We
to get
could
this
do
done
Santana, yeah.
Let's wrap it up.
Carlos Santana. 38%, kind of what I suspected.
All right, under 100.
We're under 100. It's fine. We had a couple good ones. Santana was the most common one. Trey Mancini, Chapman, John Lester. That's right. Sandoval was the most popular one in that corner, like I suspected. All right, I think we did. I think we did pretty good. I'm not gonna lie here. Now, how do I stop this? Okay, we're good. Well, there we go. We're pros. I'm getting better at this, guy.
Any last remarks, or we want to wrap this up?
I got nothing.
That's
I'll
fair.
just be interested to see where these last two free agents fall. I did talk about it a little bit. The Yankees were linked to Snell, whether that was Boris leaking it because the Yankees offered Snell before they signed Stroman. But yeah, if the Yankees could land one of these starters, I'd prefer Montgomery, but even Snell, I think that makes their rotation look a hell of a lot better. And would make me feel a lot more confident going into the season. But we'll see. I'll be interested to see where Boris lands these guys because it seems like his strategy of just waiting hasn't really paid off for Bellinger. So we'll see what happens with these pitchers and Martinez as well.
Yeah, lot of free agents out there. Just seeing a report now that prior to the Giants signing Soler, they offered Martinez a 1-year, $14 million deal. He wanted $20 million. He may be willing to take less, but he didn't want to play for San Francisco.
Yeah, tough park to play in.
That's a tough part. Yeah, it's hard to have another great year for him, and I think it's going to start winding down for him to come to the Mets. It makes no sense not to have him there. Jose Budo apparently looks really good while we were doing our pod. First couple innings happening. Apparently, I'm looking on Twitter. Budo looked really good against the Astros. So that's exciting. And like I said, I thought McGill might get the spot, but Budo's he had a solid 10 starts. He has a 3.89 ERA last year. So there's every chance in the world, and people say he's got some really good stuff. And so there's a chance that he can snag that fifth starter spot for sure. So I guess spring training for the Mets is a battle for that fifth starter. Hopefully everyone stays healthy. Want to see what want to see Severino do well. Severino's a big X factor. I want to see Marte playing well. Lindor, Pete, Nimmo, all those guys. I'm looking for Beatty and Vientos, all the young guys. I'm really looking for those guys and the bounce back candidate guys for sure. Dave, you know what that means?
It means that everyone knows where to find us. You can watch our episodes on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon, Google. You can also follow along on all of our socials at BQB Podcast. And if you like us, find someone who played on the Red Sox and the Giants, who's not named Pablo Sandoval. Tell them to listen to our podcast because they'll like it too. Anyway, that was a great episode, fellas. Well done by you. We'll catch you guys next time.